If you're not advertising on Google, say for example, you put all your budget into social, you're missing out on a massive opportunity to reach and connect with potential customers. On Google Ads, you can reach people early when they're discovering products, and you can reach them again when they're actually ready to buy.
What's up, peeps? What's up, peeps? Welcome to another live stream episode 261 of Before the Bell Bets, your weekly episodic podcast where I bring you the top 10 boxing and MMA fights for the upcoming week. I break them down and I tell you what bets to place. As always, what the hell was that shit? As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends. That's it for me peeps. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. So we are live streaming to YouTube and we're also live streaming to Rumble at the same time. It's a new setup for me. Why is that there? Yeah, cool. That's not there no more. So it's a new setup for me, so I need to get used to all the different intangibles. I can do that as well. I can show the viewership stats, but you can't see that, so that doesn't matter. Before we start the show, You guys need to give me the HBO special. What is the HBO special? The HBO special stands for help is H, B is before the bell, and the O is out. Help before the bell out. How do you do that? You hit the like button and help you in the algorithm. If you're watching it on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're watching the Rumble, hit the like button. It's that damn simple. Let's do this real quick. So, today's episode is this, and I'll make it smaller. It's a little bit of a different live stream this time, but episode 261 of Before the Bell Bets. The one thing that I don't have this time is my sound effects. I wasn't able to put the sound effects. I'm using a different setup here. So, but before we start the show, what we will do is we will recap last week's results. So if you look on the screen, you can have a look at last week's results. And I want to see what this looks like live. So I am going to go and check what this looks like live right now. What are we looking like? Are we live? Let's see what it looks like live. Yeah, it looks pretty decent live. I can't complain. So let's talk about the results. Bear with me a second. It's a bit different for me because obviously it's a new setup. I'm doing things differently. But that is what it is. We look for the results. So as you can see on the screen, I got 6 out of 8 right last weekend or this weekend. Whoops. There we go. We do it live, baby. We do it live. Right. Let's just put this over here. So I got 6 out of 8. So I said Amanda Serrano versus Mansour would go past 5 rounds. I was correct. Amanda Serrano won over 12 rounds. I said Teofimo Lopez would win. I was correct. Teofimo Lopez won over 12 rounds. I said Chris Cyborg would win. I was correct. Chris Cyborg won over 12 rounds. Chris Silva won over 5 rounds. Walker Espinosa, obviously that's a no bet. Magomedov, I said he would win. I was incorrect because he lost by knockout in the 3rd round to Daniel Marcos. I put it full screen so you guys can see it. I said De Ridder versus Delize would not go the distance. I was correct. Ronald De Ridder won by knockout in round 1. Let's bring it down a little bit. I said Santos versus De Sousa would go past round 1. I was correct. Sabrina De Sousa won over 3 rounds. I said Hernandez versus Rodriguez would not go the distance. I was incorrect. Rodriguez won over 5 rounds. Let's go big screen again. I said Jocelyn Carmelo versus Ashley Felix would go past the 2nd round. I was correct. Jocelyn Carmelo won over 6 rounds. So as you see it there, and Rabanov Kasabuka got cancelled. So I got 6 out of 8. There was 8 viable bets that we could bet on, and I got 6 out of 8. Right? So there we go. And without further ado, let's get into this week's show. Without further ado, first fight of the week is this one. So there we go. We can actually do both and at the same time, which is ridiculous. It's a new setup for me. So the first fight we are talking about is first fight we're talking about is Umar Nurmagomedov versus Song Yadong. Let's talk about it. I wish I had my sound effects, man. I had so many sound effects in this previous setup, but I mean, this setup works. It's not exactly how it was previously, but it works. The sound works. One's in the chat. The sound works. Let's go to theme, design, live chat. I doubt that I'll see anything. You can see a little bit of the live chat on the side, right? You know what I'm saying? A little bit of the live chat on the side at the top. And that's just me, but I'll get rid of that. For now, we don't need to see the live chat. But let's talk about it. Now, the thing with this fight is Song Yadong is faster. Song Yadong's got much faster hand speed, right? His hand speed is much faster, right? I would argue all of his speed. So when he throws his kicks, when he throws his hands, when he throws his elbows, anything that is attacking base, Song Yadong is faster, right? Both guys got good accuracy. Accuracy is self-explanatory. The more accurate you are, the more you will land your opponent. Both guys have good timing. Timing just means if your opponent makes a mistake, you make them pay for the mistake that they made. What else do we have here? Both guys have good countering ability. Countering just means if the opponent attacks you, you avoid their attack and instantly attack them back. Both guys have good feinting ability. Feinting is pretending to attack to get your opponent to react. Does create an opening for you to actually attack them. And I don't mind going full screen for this one right now. Both guys have good glove defense. Glove defense is very important in MMA. And the reason why it's so important in MMA, to bring this up a little bit, the reason why it's so important in MMA is because you can throw kicks in MMA. So, for example, right, if someone throws a kick at me, most of the time I won't see the kick until it's near my chest or near my shoulder. I won't see it until it's near my chest or near my shoulder, right? So if I won't see the kick until it's near my chest or near my shoulder, they're going to kick me in the head. So I have to be able, I'm not going to be able to get out of the way of the kick, because you won't see it until it's near your chest or near your shoulder for the most part. So when it comes, you need to block the kicks, right? So that's why glove defense is so important in MMA, right? Both of these guys got that. Both of these guys got a thing called glove manipulation. And all of that is you can manipulate your opponent's body in MMA because your fingers are free. So you can literally grab your opponent's wrists or pull their hand in, stuff like that. If they become composed to do it, both of these guys can do it. Both of them have good head movement. The more you move the head, right, less likely you are to get hit. Both guys got good footwork. They circle away from the opponent. They both apply good pressure. They both can cut off the ring. Cutting off the ring just forces your opponent into mistakes. So if it forces them into mistakes, you're going to get opening. Now let's talk about the ground game aspect. Grappling, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. Grappling is wrestling standing up. We all know what wrestling is, and jiu-jitsu is submissions, rear naked choke, armbar, etc., stuff like that. Give me a second. Serious question. All y'all. Where are we at? So both of these guys are 8 out of 10 in grappling. When it comes to wrestling, Umar Nurmagomedov is an 8 out of 10, and your Song Yadong is a 7 out of 10. So ground game may be a slight advantage there to Umar Nurmagomedov. And when it comes to jiu-jitsu, both of these guys, there's no way. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, Umar Nurmagomedov is an 8 out of 10, and Song Yadong is a 7 out of 10. So when it comes to the ground game, yes, Umar Nurmagomedov has a slight advantage, but when it comes to stand-up, they're kind of even. Yes, Song Yadong is faster, so maybe he's got a slight advantage, but timing beats speed and accuracy beats power. So Umar Nurmagomedov, if he has got the good enough timing, he can negate the speed advantage that Song Yadong has. There's no way Song Yadong is negating the fact that when it comes to wrestling, Umar's at 8, Song Yadong's a 7. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, Umar's at 8, Song Yadong is a 7. So my thing is, I am leaning towards Umar here, but Song Yadong is no slouch. Umar is like the whole package as a fighter. Umar's here. Song Yadong is just tipping at the post, right? So I doubt that anyone gets finished in the first round in this one. I would be shocked if anyone gets finished in the first round. So the bet to place here is the fight to go past the first round. One more time, the bet to place here is the fight to go past the first round. I am missing my sound effects. I'm so annoyed. I'm going to see if I can get them added in right now. I'll try it again. I know it's not going to work because it hasn't been working. But if I can get the sound effects to work, then it just makes the show so much better. I have more fun with the sound effects too. So we do it live, man. We do it live. Let's see if I can do it. What about this one? Will that work? Yeah, the sound effects aren't working right now, so I just have to deal with it. So yeah, let's go to the next fight. Let's go to the next fight. So the next fight is Chase Demoor versus Kevin Nagle. Now, Kevin Nagle is a journeyman in a sense, but he's 14 professional fights and 14 wins. Chase Demoor's got a few losses in his career, but he's younger, longer, and stronger. Pause, right? And obviously Chase Demoor. Obviously, he fought Andrew Tate in his last fight. Chase Demoor did, right? So that's a decent step up. Andrew Tate was a former four-time world champion in kickboxing, right? So if you look at Chase Demoor's professional boxing record, he has got 6 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. And if you go to his misfits record, right, he's got in his misfits record, he's got 5 wins and 2 losses in his misfits record, right? So, but he's young, he's 30, he's strong, he's getting better, he's got, a good jab and stuff like that. Oh, Kevin Nagle on the other hand, 11 professional fights, 8 KOs. He's 42 years of age, so age difference there between both of these guys. And also, let's see who he's fought. I mean, he's definitely fought better competition than the competition that Chase Demoor has fought. So in that sense, even though Kevin Nagle was a little bit out of shape, being out of shape doesn't mean outcomes I can't make the score. I can. There we go. Now, being out of shape a little bit is not that much of a problem in boxing, like it's on your hands. But let's think of this one. Is Kevin Nagle the best fighter that Chase Demoor has ever fought? Absolutely 100% yes. When it comes to professional boxing, yes. Is Chase Demoor the best fighter that Kevin Nagle has ever fought? No, I would say no. I would say absolutely not. He's not. Kevin Nagle has fought guys 5 professional fights, one draw, 1 loss. 8 professional fights. Sorry. 8 wins, 3 losses. He knocked that guy out. 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. He won that fight. Another guy who had 20 wins, 33 losses. Yes, he had 33 losses. He had 20 wins with way much more experience than Chase Demoor. So Nagle has fought better fighters than Chase Demoor. So it's a very interesting one. Now, if Chase Demoor is as good as people say he is for this fight against Kevin Nagle, right, he should be able to get the goods done. Now, I would say this. Let's talk about a few different things. In terms of technical boxing, Chase Demoor is probably better. He's got a better jab, and the most important punch in boxing is the jab, right? But in terms of rough house fighting, Nagle's better. Chase Demoor has zero ability to fight inside. Zero. He's got a long range. There we go. You got long range, mid range, inside, long range, mid range, inside. Long range is technical boxing. Inside is dirty boxing, and mid range is a mixture of both of them. When it comes to long range, Chase Demoor probably has the advantage, but he's not that much better than Nagle at long range. When it comes to inside, dirty boxing, Nagle has a huge advantage because he can fight very well on the inside. Chase Demoor has zero ability to fight inside. Now, Chase Demoor has the superior jab by far. If Nagle can get past the jab of Chase Demoor for the majority of the 10 rounds, then he's got a good opportunity to win. But if he can't get past the jab of Chase Demoor will win because he will just jab him to smithereens. Keep him at the end of his jab, and again, long range inside. But mid range is where they can compete together because I would say they're both the same level at mid range, right? When it comes to mid range boxing, they're like this, right? When it comes to long range boxing, Chase Demoor is here. Nagle is about here, right? So Chase Demoor is better at long range boxing than Nagle. When it comes to dirty boxing, inside boxing, Nagle's here, Chase Demoor is here. So the gap is huge when it comes to the inside. Huge. So if Nagle can keep this fight inside the mid-range for the majority of the 12 rounds, he will. It's not even 12 rounds. It's an 8-round fight. If Nagle can keep this fight from inside to mid-range for the majority of 8 rounds, he wins the fight. And if Demoor can keep this long range to mid-range for the majority of the 8 rounds, he wins the fight. Now, the main thing, and like I said, the jabbing ability. Chase Demoor has a good offensive jab and a good defensive jab. Nagle only has the offensive jab, right? Head movement. Both guys 7 out of 10 head movement, so they can both get landed on. 7 is doable. 8 is poor. 6 is poor. We don't even talk about 5, right? I sound like I'm talking about women. I'm not, but I do talk about women in this way, right? But when it comes to boxing ability, you want to be an 8 in everything. 7 you can get by, but 6 is basically a 5, and 5 you don't talk about. So both of these guys are 7 out of 10 when it's the head movement, so they can get landed on. Right? What else do we have here? And everything else, for the most part, they're even. When it comes to pressure, Nagle's pressure is an 8, Chase Demoor's pressure is a 7. But like I said, Chase Demoor's the better jabber. He can't find the inside, so he's more technical, so he would have less pressure. Chase Demoor 7 pressure, Nagle 8 pressure. When it comes to, there's a thing called glove manipulation, where you use your gloves to manipulate your opponent's body to create openings for you to actually attack them. All right, let's bring this down a little bit. For you to actually, I'm gonna just make it smaller, bro. But chase them more Nagle, right? There we go. So you use your gloves to manipulate your opponent's body. You might use your glove to pull down your opponent's glove. Your opponent might come to you, you might use your glove and lean on them a little bit, stuff like that. Manipulate them into openings. That ability, Nagle's an 8, chase them was a 7, right? So the question here is, I do see this as a 50-50 fight. It's an 8-round fight. I mean, either guy, like Nagle could knock out Chase Demoor could knock out Nagle. This is a really tough fight, in my opinion, to talk about. Really difficult. I mean, you could say the fight goes past 3 rounds because it's an 8-round fight. Halfway, you want to say the fight goes past halfway, right? That would be 4 rounds because it's an 8-round fight. But when you're betting, you always drop down a round when you're betting, so you would say that it goes past 3 rounds. But either guy could get knocked out. Either of these guys will get knocked out in the first round or second round. So as much as I want to bet on this one, it's too 50-50 for me to even give you guys a bet or something to bet on. So the bet to place here is literally, I'm not going to place the bet on this one. There's no worth placing a bet on this one. So let's go to the next fight. I'd like to place a bet on this one, but it's just literally just not worth it. Let's make this a big thing. If I do that and remove that. Okay, cool. So the next fight is Chantelle Cameron versus Mikaela, and this is possibly a fight of the week. Honestly, it's possibly fight of the week. If you look at the bottom of the screen, people, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see all my socials. You can see the YouTube. You can see the Rumble. You can see the Instagram. You can see the X, TikTok. You can see it all. So subscribe to all my socials. You can see them at the bottom of the screen. So Mikaela versus Chantelle Cameron. Let's just make this a bit smaller. I'm happy with that. Okay. Let's talk about it. Now Chantelle Cameron's got very fast hands, right? Hand speed kills, right? Hand speed. Mikaela has got speed, so both of these girls are fast, so they're going to be landing each other because they're both accurate with speed. But when it comes to Mikaela, she's fast everywhere. Her hands are fast, her feet are fast. She gets in and out of distance fast. Everything she does is at speed. So maybe you give Mikaela the slight advantage in the speed here. Chantelle Cameron, her hands are fast. She hasn't got the foot speed or the general speed. It's just when her punches throw, she's got hand speed. Mikaela, everything she does is at speed, including the punches. So maybe you lean towards Mikaela here with little bit of speed advantage here. Both girls got good accuracy, good timing, good counter punching ability, good feinting ability, good glove defense. Glove defense is blocking shots with the gloves. If someone throws shots at you, you block, you carry with them. You know, both of these guys have a good jab. The most important punch in boxing is the jab, so they have that. Glove manipulation. They both use their gloves. Let's make this bigger. They both use their gloves to create openings for themselves. So use their gloves to manipulate their opponent's body to create openings for themselves. That's what they do. Let's see what happens here. Just make sure that I'm still live. I'm live on all platforms right now. We tried to go live on Instagram and it didn't work. But I think I know why my Instagram live didn't work. So what I will do is I will check why it never worked. But I know why it didn't work. So yeah, we definitely are up on all platforms, which I like to see. Great stuff. Let's continue the show. Head movement. Now let's talk about head movement. Mikaela head movement is an 8 out of 10. Mikaela head movement is an 8 out of 10, and Chantelle Cameron's head movement is a 7 out of 10. So, I mean, maybe a slight advantage there for Mikaela. She's got an 8 out of 10. Chantelle Cameron's got 7. When it comes to footwork, circling out, applying pressure, and cutting off the ring, they're even on all those categories. Now let's talk about one more category where they're not even. Long range, mid range, inside. Long range, mid range, inside. Right? Long range is technical boxing. Inside is dirty boxing. Mid range is a mixture of both of them. When it comes to long range, I would say they're even. There's not one person who's better in the long range, right? When it comes to inside dirty boxing, Chantelle Cameron is an 8 out of 10. Mikaela is a 6 out of 10. So that's a big advantage. An 8 versus a 6 is a big advantage. So if Chantelle Cameron can, because they both got a good jab. So Chantelle Cameron's going to have to get past the jab of Mikaela May. Mikaela May is going to have to get past the jab of Chantelle Cameron, right? Vice versa. But when they get past the jab, Mikaela May is just going to stay in the mid range and not go on the inside. When Mikaela May gets past the jab of Chantelle Cameron, she's just going to stay in the mid range. When Chantelle Cameron gets past the jab of Mikaela May, she's going to go to that inside, the inside range, dirty boxing range. So she's got a bigger advantage. If Chantelle Cameron can mix the long range, the mid range, and inside good throughout the fight, she's going to win. Because once they get to the inside range, Chantelle Cameron has a huge advantage. So Mikaela May can't let Chantelle Cameron get the fight on the inside. She has to keep it mid range and long range. Chantelle Cameron can keep it any range she wants. She can go mid range, long range, or inside, and she's good. So that's it's a very interesting fight. I want to talk about their opponents because both of these girls are world champions at the current moment, and Chantelle Cameron is former undisputed champion at 140 pounds, and Chantelle Cameron beat Katie Taylor, right? And the thing is, Chantelle Cameron, I want to talk about some of the fights they fought because it's a very interesting fight. I think I know who I'm leaning towards here. I really do, but we're going to get there in a second. So Chantelle Cameron, 23 professional fights, 22 wins, 1 loss. Mikaela May, 24 professional fights, 22 wins, 2 losses. Mikaela May is 36, Chantelle Cameron is 35. I mean, it's even, bro. It's even. Right? Let's think about it. Chantelle Cameron's lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Chantelle Cameron's lost 11 fights have all been title fights. That's her level. Chantelle Cameron's lost 11 fights have all been title fights. Now, if we go here, on the Just Blood Academy.
A real OG, look at me, I didn't see a player ball. Then after we hit the club, baby, I'ma hit them draws. Yeah, I'ma break the walls.
So, Mikaela May, her last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Her last 5 fights have all been title fights, right? She did her last 6 fights, one of them was not, but then before that, right? So if we go like this, let's go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Mikaela May, her last 11 fights, 10 of them have been world title fights, one of them was not. Chantelle Cameron's last 11 fights, all of them have been world title fights. So maybe the slight experience advantage there for Chantelle Cameron. If we look at Chantelle Cameron, she's fought Jessica Kamara, Patricia Berchelt, Ella McAfee, Katie Taylor twice, and 3 times. No, say Katie Taylor twice, right? The first fight with Katie Taylor, the scorecards were 96-94, Chantelle Cameron, 96-94, Chantelle Cameron, and 95-95. The second fight, right, was 95-95, 98-92, it was a joke, and 96-94, right? So the first fight, Chantelle Cameron had 2 winning scorecards, right? And 1 draw-in scorecard against Katie Taylor. So Katie Taylor didn't win on any of the scorecards when Chantelle Cameron beat Katie Taylor the first time. There was 2 winning scorecards for Cameron and 1 draw scorecard. In the second fight, Katie Taylor won on 2 of the scorecards, but Chantelle Cameron won on the other one. So, and if you watch the 2 fights,
If you're not advertising on Google,
right? In the first fight against Katie Taylor, Katie Taylor absolutely schooled Chantelle Cameron absolutely schooled Katie Taylor in the first fight. It wasn't even close. She schooled her. The second fight, it was a very close fight, right? And what else do we have? Jessica McCaskill, Victor Noella Bustos, Mary McGee. And I mean, that's about it for the top quality names that she's fought. And I've mentioned those. Mikaela May, who has she fought? Mary Spencer, top quality name. Sandy Ryan twice. Natasha Jonas. Lucy Wildheart. Alicia Baumgardner, but she got beat by Alicia Baumgardner. Jennifer Han, good win. Mavia Hamadouche, Erica Annabella Farias, and that would be about it for the top class name. So both of these girls are top level, top of the top. Like Clarissa Shields is here, Chantelle Cameron is here, right? Clarissa Shields is here, Mikaela Mayer is here. So they're they're both world champions right now. You know, how many world title fights in the last few fights? But I say all of this to say that I am going for Chantelle Cameron to win this. I think she's fought a ever so slightly better competition than Chantelle Cameron, right? You know, she's proven that she can compete at the time that she will. Right now, who's number one in boxing female? Clarissa Shields. Who's number two? Katie Taylor. I mean, that's it. Number one is Clarissa Shields. Number two is Katie Taylor. That is the boxing right now. That is it. And at one point, Katie Taylor was number one. Clarissa Shields was number two. But now it's Clarissa Shields. The only person to beat Katie Taylor is Chantelle Cameron. So I mean, it's all right. And I just think they're so even. If you look at the speed, a little bit of an advantage in the speed for Mikaela Mayer, so slightly. Head movement, a little bit of an advantage for Mikaela Mayer in head movement. When it comes to inside game, inside fight, dirty boxing, huge advantage for Chantelle Cameron. And she is gonna get on the inside at some point. She will. So for me, the bet to place here is Chantelle Cameron to win one more time. The bet to place here is Chantelle Cameron to win. Let's go to the next fight. Okay, so we have here, let's prepare a big screen for a second. We have Carlos Alberto Garcia versus Jose Vega. Now, this is a simple thing. I'm going to get through this one real damn quick. Obviously, Carlos Alberto's quite famous. He's got like 260K followers on the Instagram. He's trained with Canelo numerous times. So yeah, especially in Mexico, he's famous. So this is what you call a gimme fight. What is a gimme fight? A gimme fight stands for give me an easy fight. One more time. A gimme fight stands for give me an easy fight. What they're doing, Carlos Alberto is the A side. They're bringing in someone to make Carlos Alberto look good just so he can win, right? And the reason we know this, listen to Jose Vega Ochoa's last 5 fights, and then you'll understand what I'm saying here. In June of 22, we're going to call him Ochoa, right? Jose Vega Ochoa, I'll call him Ochoa for sure. In June of 2022, Ochoa fought someone with 17 wins, 18 losses, and 1 draw, and he won the fight. But terrible boxing record, right? In October of 2022, he fought someone with 12 wins and 1 loss, and he lost that fight. Ochoa in October of 2023, he fought someone else with 15 wins and 0 losses, and he lost that fight by knockout loss. May of 2025, he fought someone with 13 wins, 28 losses, and 3 draws, and he won that fight by knockout. Then in August of 2025, Ochoa fought someone with 2 wins, 18 losses, and 2 draws, and he won that fight by knockout. So you can see when Ochoa steps up, he gets destroyed, and he's fighting cans, absolute cans. And if you're fighting that level of competition in your last 2 fights, and you're fighting Carlos Alberto, you're gonna get beaten up. I'm gonna say knockout because Carlos Alberto is very fast and very accurate. And Ochoa's fighting guys with 2 wins and 18 losses. In his last fight, he fought someone with 2 wins and 18 losses. I mean, you can't fight that level of competition and think that you're gonna win. So the bet to place here is Carlos Alberto Garcia to win one more time. The bet to place here is Carlos Alberto Garcia to win. Let's go to the next one. I'm gonna bring it down a little. So we are on fight number 5 now. Let's go. I wish I had my sound effects, man. But you know what? It's better to be streaming on YouTube and Rumble than me, only streaming on Fingerboard. I'm live on YouTube right now. So if you prefer YouTube, if you're watching a Rumble and you prefer YouTube, I do have the YouTube link. In the live comment section on YouTube. So if you want to watch on YouTube, you can watch on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now. But anyway, let's continue. I'm also live on Rumble right now, but Rumble I've got more viewers than I've got on the YouTube, so that's what I'm saying, Rumble, right? This is a pretty big fight. It's for the IBF World Heavyweight title. We have got, and just so you guys can see, let's do a switch up here. If I remove this, you can see the full thing. Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. What I might do for a second, I'm going to add in another overlay. I've got more overlays for sure. Let's see if I can find overlay. Can I find some overlays? Where would I have put the overlays? Material, streaming. Overlay 1, overlay 2, overlay 3. We got the overlay. Yeah, and then we got another overlay 2. Let me bring in another overlay for you guys. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute. So I can switch it up, right? I can switch it up. Say, I can do it like this. So we just have the thing in the... Oh, that's the wrong overlay. Okay. I can do it like this, so you can just see my Instagram. Or I can do it like this, and then you can see it less there anyway. But anyway, let's continue the show. Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. Now, Itauma, let's think about it like this. Is Filip Hrgovic the best fighter that Itauma has ever fought? Absolutely 100% yes. You guys might say, no, Dillian Whyte is the best fighter that he ever fought. But Dillian Whyte, at the time that Moses Itauma fought him, Dillian Whyte was not in his prime. Dillian Whyte was shot to pieces, and he was like 50% of his former self. Right? He's not the person that knocked out Povetkin in the second fight. He's not the person who knocked down Povetkin twice in the first fight. He's not the person that beat Derek Chisora twice. He wasn't the same. He wasn't the same guy anymore. So Filip Hrgovic is still in his prime. He's still in his prime. But yes, he got beat by Dubois. But in that Daniel Dubois fight, Filip Hrgovic destroyed Daniel Dubois in the first 2 rounds. It's just that he didn't train properly and he got gassed out. I don't like to make excuses for fighters, but that's what happened. So is Moses Itauma the best fighter that Filip Hrgovic has ever fought? It's debatable because he hasn't proven it yet. If he beats Filip Hrgovic, then he's proven. He's world champion. He's proven. But he hasn't proven. So it's debatable that Moses Itauma is the best fighter that Filip Hrgovic has ever fought. But it is 100% correct that Filip Hrgovic will be the best fighter that Moses Itauma has ever fought. So when you think of it like that, this is not as easy as everyone thinks. Everyone thinks that Itauma is going to starch Hrgovic, knock him out in 6 rounds. Maybe not. Maybe not. Now, I will say this. Filip Hrgovic is not that fast. He's not that fast. What he makes up for his lack of speed is his superb, impeccable timing and is his mastery of the jab. Filip Hrgovic has 100% got a better jab than Moses Itauma. And we all know the best punch in boxing is the most important punch in boxing is the jab, right? So do not count Filip Hrgovic out here. This is a real top draw fight, right? And if we're going here now, so yeah, but again, Moses Itauma's speed is here. Filip Hrgovic's speed is here. Look at the gap. Moses Itauma's speed, Filip Hrgovic's speed. So there is a big gap there. But Filip Hrgovic, if you got good enough timing, you can negate the speed advantage of someone with timing. So maybe Hrgovic. It's possible Hrgovic has good enough timing to negate the speed advantage of Moses Itauma. When there's a skill set called different looks in boxing, right? Let's bring myself down a little bit. In boxing, there we go. In boxing, the more unpredictable you are, the more difficult it is for your opponent to time you, thus you should win the fight. There's 2 ways to be unpredictable in boxing, right? Number 1, feinting, pretending to punch to get your opponent to react, but everyone can do that for the most part. The second way is very difficult, the ability to fight in different looks. If I can attack and defend out of multiple styles, it makes it very hard for my opponent to time me because they never know where the punches are coming from, right? If I can only attack and defend out of one style, my punches will always come from the same position and go back to the same position because I can only attack and defend out of one style. But if I can attack and defend out of multiple styles, my punches will not always go back to the same position, right? And they will never come from the same position. I can punch from many positions. So that being said, it makes it very difficult for your opponents to time you. Both of these guys, Hrgovic and Moses Itauma, can fight in different looks. So it's going to be a high-level fight. When it comes to the jab, Moses Itauma's got a good offensive jab and a good defensive jab. Filip Hrgovic also has a good offensive jab and a good defensive jab, right? But the thing here is, offensive jab, Moses Itauma and Filip Hrgovic, I'd say they're even when it comes to the offensive jab. Defensive jab, Moses Itauma is a 7 out of 10. Filip Hrgovic is an 8 out of 10 in the defensive jab department. So overall, Filip Hrgovic has got the better jab, and Filip Hrgovic is going to have to use this jab, right? If Filip Hrgovic can't have a world-class jab in this fight, he will lose. He's going to have to keep Moses Itauma off of him. He's going to have to keep Moses Itauma on the end of his jab, on the end of his jab, on the end of his jab, if he's got any chance of winning this fight. Sometimes it will go into mid-range, cool. He can't let it go on the inside. Filip Hrgovic cannot let this fight go on the inside. It goes on the inside, he's toast for the most part. Because the speed advantage for Itauma is so vast. It's fast, right? It's fast like all the internet bots online, right? Head movement. Filip Hrgovic is an 8 out of 10. Moses Itauma is a 7 out of 10. With Moses Itauma, the reason why he doesn't get hit a lot, it's not because he's got the greatest head movement. 7 out of 10. You want to be an 8 or more, right? It's because he's got very fast feet, right? Moses Itauma is fast everywhere. So he uses his fast footwork to evade the punches. His head's stationary, but his feet moves his body and his head. So that's why it's very hard to hit Moses Itauma because of his speed, not because of his head movement. So Hrgovic might have some opportunities there. Hrgovic 8 out of 10 head movement. Itauma 7. When it comes to pressure, Itauma is an 8, Hrgovic is a 7. Pressure will be a lot. And because Moses Itauma is so fast, when you put that pressure and that speed to get Skeba, it's devastating. That's why Moses Itauma destroys the opponent. Alright? And like I said before, Filip Hrgovic can't let it get on the inside. Long range, I'd argue in the long range, Filip Hrgovic might have a slight advantage in the long range. I'd say they're even in the long range, but maybe Filip Hrgovic has a slight advantage in the long range. Long range is technical boxing. Inside is dirty boxing. When it comes to the inside range, Moses Itauma is an 8, Hrgovic is a 5. I shouldn't even put that on the board. A 5 is dreadful, right? You don't want to be a 5 in anything. So if it gets to the inside, like I said, Filip Hrgovic is toast. When it comes to the mid-range, they're a bit even. Maybe you want to say that Moses Itauma is slightly better in the mid-range. Remember, mid-range, long range is technical boxing. Inside is dirty boxing. And mid-range is a mixture of both of them, right? So mid-range, maybe a little bit of an advantage for Itauma. Long range, maybe a little bit of an advantage for Filip Hrgovic. Inside, dirty boxing range, huge advantage for Itauma. Filip Hrgovic can't let him get there, but Filip Hrgovic has got the superior jab. So it's an interesting fight. I will be shocked. Most Itauma could knock him out. And I could see Moses Itauma knocking him out in the 6th or 7th round, right? But Filip Hrgovic might win on points. Or Filip Hrgovic might win by knockout in the 10th, 11th, 12th round. I can really, I can see Moses Itauma getting a knockout in the 6th, 7th, or 8th round. I really do see that happening. And if he wins by knockout, I can see it happening. And what I would do is I would pick bets on those rounds. But for the sake of the show and for the actual bet that is, makes a lot of sense. Because this is for the bell bets. We want to win every bet. The fight goes past halfway. Oh, no. The fight goes past 5 rounds. That's what I think. I don't see him knocking out Hrgovic in the 5th round. Or 4th round. Or I just don't see it happening, right? So I think the fight goes past 5 rounds. But what you want to do or say here is when you're placing a bet, you always got to drop down around. One more time. When you're placing a bet, you always got to drop down around. So if I believe this fight goes past 5 rounds, I got to bet it goes past 4 rounds. So the bet to place here is Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic if the fight goes past 4 rounds. That's the right place. Let's go to the next one. Fight number 6. We have got, what do we have here? We have Terri Harper versus Miranda Reyes.
You're missing out on a massive opportunity.
No, I like Miranda Reyes, and I'm not saying in terms of looks. I'm not saying she's ugly either. I'm just saying I like her as a fighter. You know, if I want to talk about their looks, I will, but we don't need to do that. You know, it's not warranted. Let's talk about their boxing skills. I wish I had my sound effects, man. I'll get them back at some point. So Terri Harper versus Miranda Reyes, right? Now, a lot of people, because Terri Harper is a former world champion, she's been a multiple time world champion. You know. But she has been beat by a lot of world champions, so she's been a lot of world title fights, but she has won some of them, right? She's got more experience, way more experience at the top level. Miranda Reyes, I mean, she fought Daniel Dubois, and it was a great fight. Caroline Dubois, and it was a great fight. And if you look at the skill sets, Miranda Reyes has definitely got more skill than Terri Harper. The thing here is experience means a lot. Terri Harper's got more experience, right? Way more experience. It's not even a joke how much more experience Terri Harper's got. And let's talk about the experience of Terri Harper and we'll move on from there. Now, Terri Harper has fought Caroline Dubois, Natalie Zimmerman, Rhiannon Dixon, Sandy Ryan, Cecilia Breakers, Ivana Habazan, Hannah Rankin, Amelia Belinda, Alisa Baumgardner, Catherine Fanders, Natasha Jonas, Ava Wellstrom, Vivian Obanoff, and we stop there. All of those names are top quality operators. In her last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In her last 14 fights, 12 of her last... This is Terri Harper. 12 of Terri Harper's last 14 fights have all been world title fights. One more time. Terri Harper. 12 of her last 14 fights have all been title fights. I mean, that is experience. And I already named the top quality operators that she has fought, right? Now, if we go to Miranda Reyes, she has definitely not been at the level. I mean, what she's got here, she's got Caroline Dubois and Stephanie Han, two world champions and 2 top class operators. It's the only 2 world class fights she's got on her record, right? And she's got 3 losses, so she lost to the 2 world class fighters. But she put up a very good fight against Caroline Dubois. She really did. And against Stephanie Han, she also put up a decent fight as well. She was not out of her depths against those 2 girls at all. Now, so the experience definitely is on the side of Terri Harper. So a lot of people are leaning towards Terri Harper here, saying that she should win. But I'm telling you right now,
now shitting on them just to pay them assholes back. Quarterback life, people want to pass you sack. Matt Black, Maybach, I named it Matt.
Remove. There we go. Now, I'm telling you now, just because Terri Harper's got all that experience doesn't mean she wins the fight. Because Miranda Reyes has got skill sets so way better than, yes, she lost against the 2 world class opponents, but she showed she had those skills against those world class opponents. And Terri Harper is not better than Caroline Dubois, and Terri Harper is not better than Stephanie Han. And if Miranda Reyes is able to show those skills against people that are much better than Terri Harper, what does that mean against Terri Harper? She might be able to use those skills and win this fight, right? Both girls, when it comes to accuracy, timing, countering ability, feinting ability, glove defense, and jabbing ability, right? We'll take away. When it comes to accuracy, timing, countering ability, glove defense, they're even. Same. No one other girl is better than the other when it comes to those skill sets that I just mentioned. When it comes to head movement, Terri Harper is a 7, Miranda Reyes is an 8. Number one advantage already for Miranda Reyes, right? Footwork, circling out, they're even. When it comes to pressure, Terry Harper's the 8, Miranda Reyes is the 7, and pressure is, it's fleeting at times. You're not really talking about that. The ability to cut off the ring. If your opponent moves, if your opponent moves to the left, you move to the right. Let's go. If your opponent moves to the left, you move to the right. If your opponent moves to the right, you move to the left. That's called cutting off the ring, right? And what this does is that it forces your opponent to have to think quicker than they're trying to. It forces your opponent to have to act quicker than they're trying to, because they will make mistakes. Cutting off the ring, Reyes is 8, Terry Harper's A7, right? The ability to fight in the inside. Miranda Reyes can fight on the inside. Terry Harper cannot fight on the inside, right? Long range, mid-range, inside. Long range, mid-range, inside. Long range, mid-range, inside. Long range is technical boxing. Inside is dirty boxing. Mid-range is a mixture of both of them. When it comes to long range, they're even. When it comes to mid-range, you could say they're somewhat even, right? Somewhat even. Toss-up. When it comes to the inside, Terry Harper has zero ability to fight on the inside. Miranda Reyes can fight on the inside. She's not the best there, but she definitely has got the ability to fight there. If this gets on the inside, Terry Harper's going to be out of her depth, right? Not only that, speed advantage is Miranda Reyes. Miranda Reyes is much faster than Terry Harper. Not only that, the ability to fight in different styles. Miranda Reyes can do that. Terry Harper cannot do that, right? If I can only attack and defend out of one style, i.e. Terry Harper can only attack and defend out of one style, it's going to be very easy for Terry Harper's opponents to time her, because her punches will always come from the same position and go back to the same position. If I can attack and defend out of multiple styles, i.e. Miranda Reyes, it's going to be very hard for Miranda Reyes' opponents to time her, or it's more difficult for Miranda Reyes' opponents to time her, because she can attack and defend out of multiple positions, right? And that means her punches can always come from multiple positions, and her punches don't always have to go back to the same position. So opponents will never know where her punches are coming from for the most part, and she's got a large array of punches she can throw. When it comes to the jab, Miranda Reyes has got a better jab. Terry Harper's only got a good offensive jab. Miranda Reyes has got a good offensive jab and a good defensive jab. The most important punch in boxing is the jab. You see where we're going here. Glove manipulation. Miranda Reyes has glove manipulation. Terry Harper doesn't. What glove manipulation is you use your gloves to manipulate your opponent's body to create openings for yourself to attack your opponent, right? You might pull down their glove with your glove. You might lean on them a little bit with your forearm and your glove. Stuff like that. Miranda Reyes can do that. Now, I'm not saying Terry Harper can't win. Like Terry Harper's last 14 fights, 12 of them have been world title fights. She fought top quality opponents. So she has got the experience, but minus that experience, I just can't see how Miranda Reyes loses this fight. But she could. I mean, she fought Stephanie Han, she fought Caroline Dubois, so she has fought 2 world-class operators. But obviously, Terry Harper's fought like 8 or 7 or 9 world-class operators. So the safe bet to place here, it's a 10-round fight. It's to say the fight goes past 5 rounds. And when you're betting, if you think it goes past a certain round, you've got to drop down a round. I believe it goes past 5 rounds, so I must drop down a round and say the bet goes past 4 rounds. But I'm going to go for the risky bet here, people. I could be wrong, but without no risk, there is no reward. One more time. Without no risk, there is no reward. And I want to pick this on big screen, so we're going to do remove. Without no risk, there is no reward, people. One more time. Without no risk, there is no reward. So, I say one more time, I'm going for Miranda Reyes to win. Right? I might put a side bet and say it goes past 4 rounds, but the bet place for me here is Miranda Reyes to win. And if she does win, you're gonna get money. And if she don't, I was wrong. Cool. At least I'm admitting I could. This bet here saying that Miranda Reyes is gonna win is gonna be the riskiest bet of all the bets on this show today. Riskiest bet that I'm placing today is Miranda Reyes to win, but she's got so much more skills than Terry Harper. I don't care about the experience of Terry Harper. So you might want to put a side bet and say the fight goes past 4 rounds, because I can guarantee that it goes past 4 rounds. But The bet I'm placing for the sake of the show is one more time Miranda Reyes to win the fight. Now let's remove this. Let's bang out the next fight and continue the show. The next one is Lester Martinez versus Luka Plantic. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fight. Lester Martinez versus Luka Plantic. She don't want to be saved, don't save her. She don't want to be saved.
There's an old saying in Tennessee. I know it's actually probably.
Okay, now before we talk about skill sets, Lester Martinez is undefeated fighter. Luka Plantic is an undefeated fighter. Lester Martinez is 20 fights, 0 losses, and 1 draw. Luka Plantic is 13 fights, 0 losses, and 0 draws. Lester Martinez, in his last 3 fights, he has fought 2 undefeated fights. One more time. Lester Martinez, in his last 3 fights, he has fought 2 undefeated fighters. Luka Plantic, in his last 3 fights, he has also fought 2 undefeated fighters. So you can see these guys aren't playing around, right? Luka Plantic, in his last 3 fights, he's got 3 wins. Lester Martinez, in his last 3 fights, he's got 2 wins and 1 draw, right? So let's just look. Luka Plantic, in November of 2024, he fought someone with 14 wins and 7 losses, and he won that fight. Then in May of 2025, Luka Plantic fought someone with 11 wins and 0 losses, and he won the fight. Then in November of 2025, Luka Plantic fought someone with 9 wins and 0 losses, and he won the fight by knockout. Lester Martinez, in May of 2025, he fought someone with 9 wins, 0 losses, and 2 draws, and he won the fight by KO. In September of 2025, Lester Martinez fought someone with 29 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws, and he won that fight. And he drew that fight. That was a draw. And in May of 2026, Lester Martinez fought someone with 22 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws, and he won that fight. So you can see for them overall arcing, they got similar opponents, right? Both got undefeated fights. Both fought 2 undefeated fights in the last 3 fights. Both undefeated fights. So I believe someone's getting knocked out. And if you look at Lester Martinez and Plantic, let's look at Lester Martinez. And the thing is, now that I'm streaming on a different platform, you can probably guess it's in the corner where I'm streaming on. But what I was streaming on before was lowering the quality of my camera. I'm using it is a 2K camera. My camera is a 2K camera, right? 2K camera, and the platform that I was streaming on the floor was lowering the quality of my camera simply because they wanted you to pay for the premium version, right? The platform I'm using now does not. You can do everything you need to do in the normal version, right? So it's not lowering the quality of my camera. So my camera should be shutting out in 2K and Rumble. On YouTube, I think it's probably capped at 1080p, but the quality is still 2K quality. It's just not churning out at 2K quality on YouTube, but it's coming. The quality coming in is 2K, but the quality going out on YouTube is 1080p, right? And the quality coming into Rumble is 2K, and the quality coming out should be 2K. I think so. I'm pretty sure. Before, the quality coming in to Rumble was 2K. The quality going in was 720p, because the platform I was using before was pulling my quality down, right? But now I'm using this platform where I can move the picture around. Before it would be a static. It would be a static picture on one's left or right. I can move it around, but as long as I can get you, I can put it big as well, so you can see that it's big. As long as I can talk about the fights and explain. But obviously, I've already said about, these 2 guys are top quality operators and knockout artists. This look like. So now, in the 20 wins of Lester Martinez's career, he's got 16 KOs, and for Luka Plantic, in his 13 wins, obviously 0 losses, 0 draws, undefeated fighter. In his 13 wins, he's got 10 knockout wins. So both of these guys can punch. They got power. They got power in their hands. Like, you know what I'm saying? That didn't look right, of course. So Luka Plantic has got flop volume, right? The average boxer throws about. Let's bring this down a little bit. The average boxer throws 10 to 30 punches around. One more time. The average boxer throws about 10 to 30 punches around, right? Luka Plantic throws 30 to 60 punches around. The average boxer throws 10 to 30 punches around. Luka Plantic throws 30 to 60 punches around. So this is why he's undefeated. His volume doesn't overwhelm his opponents and it's hard for them to win, right? So the volume could be quite a big advantage there for Luka Plantic who fights Lester Martinez. Lester Martinez, on the other hand, has the ability to fight in different looks, right? If you can only attack and defend out of one style, that means your opponent will be able to time you quite easily. Because when you can only attack and defend out of one style, the punches will always come from the same position and come back to the same position. So that means your opponent always knows where your punches are coming from. So they can time you quite easily. But if I can attack and defend out of multiple styles, that means my punches will never come from, for the most part, they will never come from the same position. And they don't always have to go back to the same position because I can attack and defend out of multiple styles. And that, what I just explained there, is called the ability to fight in different looks, which Lester Martinez can do. He can fight in different looks. Luka Plantic can't. But the volume of Luka Plantic might negate the different looks advantage that Lester Martinez has, and vice versa. The ability to fight in different looks might negate the volume, because the fact that Lester Martinez can fight in different looks is it may cause Luka Plantic to throw less, because he needs to kind of sort of work out what he's doing. So his volume might come down. So yes, Lester Martinez got the ability to fight in different looks, which is an advantage. Luka Plantic got the volume advantage, but the volume of Luka Plantic might negate the different looks that Lester Martinez has, and the different looks that Lester Martinez has might negate the volume that Plantic has. So it is very interesting, very interesting. Two different styles, two aggressive fighters. When it comes to pressure, they're both an 8 out of 10 at pressure. When it comes to the ability to fight on the inside, this is going to be a great fight. This is probably fight of the week, honestly. When it comes to the ability to fight on the inside, long range, mid range, inside. Long range is technical boxing. Inside is dirty boxing, and mid range is the mixture boxing. When it comes to long range, I would say they're even. When it comes to inside, they're both an 8 out of 10 on the inside. And when it comes to mid range, they're even. Most fighters are not even across the board, across the three ranges. Like I say, long range, mid range, inside, long range, mid range, inside. Most fighters are not even across the three ranges. These guys are even across the board, and they are high quality on the inside. 8 out of 10 for both guys on the inside. So when they do get on the inside, it's gonna be a war, right? Both of these guys are gonna be able to get past each other's jab quite easily. Both of these guys have got a good jab, but they all don't have a superb jab. They got a good offensive jab, but when it comes to defense of the jab, right, they have nothing. So to have a world-class jab, right? To have a world-class jab, you have to have a good offensive jab and a good defensive jab. That means you've got a world-class jab. Most fighters have one or the other. Most professional fighters have a good offensive jab, but a terrible defensive jab, right? Or they have a good defensive jab, but a terrible offensive jab, right? So these guys aren't world-class jabbers, right? Pause. But they are good because they still got that good offensive jab. So these guys, both about offense, both of their head movements are 7 out of 10. They're pretty much even across the board. They're literally almost identical in style apart from one thing. Plantic has the volume, because most professional fighters throw 10 to 30 punches around. Plantic throws 30 to 60 punches around. And Martinez has the ability to attack and defend out of multiple styles, which Plantic doesn't have. So, but again, they can negate. They're able to negate each other's advantage if they're smart enough. So, to me, this is a 50-50 fight. This is probably fight of the week. In my head, I'm like, probably someone gets knocked out because these guys are so damn aggressive. But if I do think someone gets knocked out, I'm going to say it's going to happen in the later rounds because they're both freaking tough son of a guns. They're SOBs, as the Americans would say. How many rounds is this fight? Is it 10? It's a 12-round fight. So I believe this fight goes past halfway. I believe both of these guys are so good and so tough that if someone gets knocked out, it's going to be rounds 7, 8, 9, or 10. I believe it probably won't be round 6. It could possibly be round 6, but I don't see it being round 6. So I believe the fight goes past halfway. Halfway, of a 12-round fight will be 6 rounds. But when you're betting, you always got to drop down around. One more time. When you are placing bets, you have to drop down around. Drop down around when you're placing bets. So I believe the fight goes past 6 rounds. But the bet I will place here is the fight will go past 5 rounds. Because when you place bets, you've got to drop down around. It's just how it works. I can explain to you why, but it's just know that if I say the fight goes past 10 rounds, I need to bet that it goes past 9 rounds. If I say the fight goes past 8 rounds, I need to bet that it goes past 7 rounds. If I say the fight goes past 6 rounds, I need to bet that it goes past 5 rounds. That's the bet I got to place. So the bet to place here is. So the bet to place here is Lester Martinez versus Luka Plantic. If the fight goes past 5 rounds. All right. That's fight number 7. We have fight number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 to go through. Let's go to the next fight. No one, man. So we have now is on the undercard Oz Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. We have got around like 36 O's. Okay. Okay, we have got Sam Noakes versus Dennis Berinchyk. Now both of these guys are pretty even, right? Both of these guys have fought, they fought the same level of competition for the most part, right? Sam Noakes beat pretty top level opponents in the UK, some European level that he fought for a world title against. I forget that guy's name. Abdullah Mason. And he lost, but he gave Abdullah Mason a good run for the money for the world title. This is Sam Noakes. Dennis Berinchyk beat Emmanuel Navarrete for the title, WBO 135-pound title. And then in his very next fight, he defended it and got knocked out for the title in the 5th round. And before that, he fought good level, fringe level opponents. So both of these guys are pretty much even in experience. I would not say that Sam Noakes is more experienced than Berinchyk, and I wouldn't say Berinchyk is more experienced than Sam Noakes. In terms of experience level, they fought pretty much the same level of opponents and are at the same level in their careers for the most part. Yeah, Sam Noakes is slightly younger, but in terms of boxing age, the age and the length and the level of competition they fought in boxing, I would say they're the same age in terms of boxing age, and that accounts for experience in boxing, level of competition fought in boxing, and how long both guys have been boxing. If you account for everything on both sides, you got them at even playing field, in my opinion. Right? Sam Noakes is 90 professional fights, 18 wins, and 1 loss. And Dennis Berinchyk is this is very, very interesting. And Berinchyk is 20 professional fights, 19 wins, and 1 loss. So again, Sam Noakes is 19 professional fights, 18 wins, and 1 loss. Dennis Berinchyk is 20 professional fights, 19 wins, and 1 loss. Right? Dennis Berinchyk doesn't tell me his age, but I would believe he's about 35, 34, something like that. And Sam Noakes is 29. So yeah, I mean, they're pretty much even Stevens. This is a 10-round fight, so it's a 10-round fight. It is not a 12-round fight. So we've got 10 boxing rounds in this one. Let's talk about skill sets. Both of these guys are pretty much even across the board. There's not a huge difference between both guys. Now, I will say Sam Noakes has got volume. The reason why Abdullah Mason didn't knock Sam Noakes out, and the reason why Sam Noakes knocks out most of his opponents is because of his volume. The average boxer throws 10 to 30 punches a round, right? Sam Noakes, on the other hand, throws 30 to 60 punches a round. So that being said, Sam Noakes has got the volume advantage here, and he could maybe overwhelm Dennis Berinchyk because of, the fact that he has volume punching, right? He throws way more punches than Dennis Berinchyk. I'm doing a lot of things at the same time, and people bear with me. So the volume advantage is there for Sam Noakes. Other than that, we've got even Stevens across the board, right? when it comes to accuracy, timing, countering ability, feinting ability, glove defense, jabbing ability, glove manipulation, they're even across the board. Head movement, Berinchyk is an 8 out of 10 head movement. Sam Noakes is a 7 out of 10 head movement. So you could say that defensively, Berinchyk is slightly better. Footwork, circling out, even. Applying of pressure. Sam Noakes is an 8 out of 10 of pressure. And Berinchyk is a 7 out of 10 pressure. Right. And it makes sense because obviously volume and pressure go together like bread and butter. So it makes sense that if Sam Noakes is the volume puncher, he will be the better pressure guy, right? Now when it comes to inside, right? Long range, let's bring this down a little bit. Long range, mid-range, inside. Long range, mid-range, inside. Long range is technical boxing, inside is dirty boxing, and mid-range is mixture of both of them. Both guys are even on the long range. When it comes to the inside, which is dirty boxing, Sam Noakes is an 8, Berinchyk is a 7, right? So Sam Noakes has got the slight advantage here because he's better at applying pressure. He's better at finding the inside. But it's not a huge advantage. It's really not a huge advantage. Could I see possibly that Sam Noakes might get a knockout here? Possibly, but it will be quite difficult. But Berinchyk is a top quality operator. It's a 10-round fight. I'll be shocked if anyone gets knocked out within the first 5 rounds. So yeah, I mean, leaning towards Sam Noakes here, but we've got to be smart when we place these bets. So I believe the fight goes past 5 rounds. It's a 10-round fight. I believe the fight goes past halfway. Right? And people, if you're watching on Rumble, because I've got way more viewers on Rumble than I've got on YouTube, and you prefer YouTube, go over to YouTube and watch it on YouTube. Or do me a favor, if you're watching on Rumble, open a YouTube tab at the same time and just leave the YouTube one running. Because it helps me, right? So I can see I've got more people watching on Rumble. So if you're watching on Rumble, right, open a YouTube tab, open another tab and put YouTube in that tab and leave it running. Right? And if you're watching the Rumble, you can see the link to watch on YouTube in the Rumble chat. So it's that damn simple. Do me a favor, put the like on that button. Okay. As I said, both guys are good. So it's a 10-round fight. It should go past 5 rounds. Right? But when you're betting, you've always got to drop down a round. So because I believe the fight goes past 5 rounds, I need to drop down a round. And that will be 4 rounds. So the bet to place here, Sam Noakes versus Berinchyk. The bet to place here is the fight goes past 4 rounds. Let's go to the next fight. The next one is Caroline Dubois versus Amelia Moore. One more time, Caroline Dubois versus Amelia Moore. Let's talk about it. Now both of these girls have got, we'll do it like this. Both of these girls have got speed. Amelia Moore is faster, but she's fast anyway. Amelia Moore's got fast speed, fast hands, she gets in and out distance fast, so maybe she's got advantage here, but she is fast at everything she does. Caroline Dubois has just got fast hands, so Caroline Dubois doesn't have fast speed. She doesn't get in and out distance fast, just when she throws her punches are at speed. That's all it is, right? So, I mean, when we look at it, maybe you want to be like, Amelia Moore's got a slight advantage here with the speed. So Caroline Dubois' speed is here. Amelia Moore's speed is Amelia Moore for the speed. Caroline Dubois is just a bit underneath Amelia Moore for the speed, right? So yeah, Amelia Moore may be slightly better when it comes to speed, right? Maybe slightly better when it comes to speed, but not ever so much. Yeah. Now Amelia Moore's got the better jab. Caroline Dubois has only got a good offensive jab. Amelia Moore's got a good offensive and a good defensive jab. What's the most important punch in boxing? The jab, so Amelia Moore may be as much. But Caroline Dubois, in terms of skill set, I would say she's better, but she's got the ability to fight in different looks. Amelia Moore can only attack and defend out of one style. And if you can only attack and defend out of one style, it's very easy for your opponent to time you because they always know where your punches are coming from. And they always know where your punches are going back to, the same position. Punches will always come from the same position. Punches will always come back to the same position because you can only attack and defend out of one style. Caroline Dubois can attack and defend out of multiple styles. The punches won't always come from the same position, and they won't always go back to the same position. And because of this, it's going to be very hard for her opponents to time her because she's got the ability to find different looks. So the ability for Caroline Dubois to find out different looks is, I would say, way more of a high skill set than the ability to have a good offensive and defensive jab. Because it's not like Caroline Navarro doesn't have a jab. She has a good offensive jab. She just doesn't have the defensive side, right? Yeah, Amelia Moore's got offense and defense in her jab. But Caroline Navarro can find out of different looks. Amelia Moore cannot. Zero ability to do it. And that ability of different looks is very hard to do if you can do it well, which Caroline Navarro can. There we go, right? What else do we have here? Timing, countering, feinting ability, glove defense. The same. Head movement, Caroline Navarro is an 8 out of 10. Amelia Morris is 7 out of 10. So I'm leaning towards Caroline Navarro here. Better head movement, ability to find different looks. Amelia Moore's only a little bit faster than her, so it's not a huge advantage. Amelia Moore's jab's only a little bit better than Caroline Navarro's. It's not a huge advantage. Pressure, the bar's 8, Amelia Moore 7. The ability to cut off the ring, same. Now, the long range, mid range, inside. Long range, mid range, inside. Long range, mid range, inside. Right? When it comes to long range, they're even. Now, long range is technical boxing. Inside is dirty boxing. Mid range is the mixture of both of them. Right? Long range, they're even. When it comes to the inside, Caroline Navarro is the 8 out of 10 on the inside. You know, dirty boxing, getting up close. Amelia Moore is zero ability to fight on the inside. So when they're fighting, when they go through the long range, mid range, inside, once it gets to the inside, she will get hurt. I don't know if she'll get knocked out, but I just don't see how Amelia Moore wins. And Caroline Navarro has got a skill called glove manipulation, which Amelia Moore doesn't have. Glove manipulation just forces your opponent. You just use your gloves to manipulate your opponent's body to create openings. You pull down their glove or lean on them, etc. Right? So, yeah. Caroline Navarro will win the fight. The bet to place here is Caroline Navarro to win. Let's go to the next fight. One more time, Caroline Navarro to win. We have got Miguel Berchelt versus Juan Manuel Cordoba. Let's talk about it. Now, I do want to say this. I couldn't find any fights for Juan Manuel Cordoba, but I do have stats. And sometimes all you really need is the numbers for betting. Now, I will say this. Miguel Berchelt has got one punch knockout power. He's a former world champion. He's fought much better competition than Juan Manuel Cordoba. So that is some things there, right? Now, Miguel Berchelt is 34 years of age. Juan Manuel Cordoba is 33 years of age, right? Interesting. I don't like the fact that it tells me I've only got. As I said, so bear with me a second. I've got some things in the background. Okay, so we have got here. Berchelt is 33 years of age. Cordoba is 30. Berchelt is 34 years of age. Cordoba is 30. Berchelt is 34 years of age. Cordoba is 33 years of age. Now let's look at Cordoba's last 5 fights. Cordoba fought someone in November of 2022, and that person was 4 wins, 15 losses, and 2 draws, and he won that fight by knockout. Miguel Berchelt fought someone with 22 wins and 2 losses, and he lost that fight by KO. But that person that Berchelt fought was a much better competition than what Cordoba fought. In July of 2023, Cordoba fought someone with 0 wins, 12 losses, and 1 draw, and he won that fight by knockout. Miguel Berchelt fought someone with 24 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, and he won that fight by knockout. So you can see that Berchelt is definitely fighting a much better competition. He might be losing to some of it, but he's fought in a much better competition. Cordoba's fighting dudes with 0 wins. Like, what is that? It's a joke, right? In August of 2023, Cordoba fought someone with 9 wins and 1 loss, and he won that fight. July of 2024, Miguel Berchelt fought someone with 15 wins, 6 losses, and 3 draws, and he won that fight by knockout. And Berchelt is knocking out his opponents too. Cordoba is not. In April of 2025, Cordoba fought someone with 30 wins and 46 losses, and he won that fight by knockout. Berchelt fought someone with 16 wins, 9 losses, and 1 draw, and he won that fight. Then in May of 2026, Cordoba fought someone with 1 win and 4 losses, and he won the fight by knockout. Berchelt fought someone with 30 wins, 13 losses, and 1 draw, and he won that fight by KO. So going off the numbers alone, Berchelt's knocking out more opponents. He's clearly fighting a much better competition. I mean, in his last 5 fights, Cordoba fought someone with 0 wins and 12 losses. I mean, the level of competition that Cordoba's fighting, it's a joke. At least Berchelt's fighting good level competition. He might have won 4 wins and 1 loss, and Cordoba might have 5 wins. But the level of competition, Cordoba's fighting people with 1 win and 4 losses, 0 wins and 12 losses. I mean, the best opponent he fought was 9 wins and 1 loss. Berchelt's fighting guys with 22 wins, 2 losses, 24 wins, 7 losses, 15 wins, 6 losses, 30 wins, 30 losses. Berchelt win. Now, the question here is, Berchelt is a one-punch knockout artist. Berchelt in his last 5 fights, he's got 4 wins and 1 loss, and 3 of those 4 wins were by knockout. Cordoba in his last 5 fights, he's got 5 wins and 4 of those wins were by knockout. But the level of competition, the person that he knocked out had 4 wins and 15 losses. The person that he knocked out for Cordoba 0 wins and 12 losses. So those don't even count. It's a joke. So the level of competition that Cordoba is fighting, I'm going for Miguel Berchelt by knockout. Now this is another risky bet. I would say this is not as risky as the bet I placed for Miranda Reyes to win. But I will say this is the second riskiest bet of the week. I mean, if you don't want to take no risk, just bet that Miguel Berchelt wins, and you'll get pretty much guaranteed to win. You don't even think about anything else. Berchelt wins, right? But I'm going for the riskier bet here. Without no risk, there is no reward. And the bet space here is Miguel Berchelt to win by KO. So let's go to the next fight. That was fight number 10. We got fight number 11 and fight number 12 to go, and then we are good to go. So we have got BKB, and BKB is not to be. Might not make it. It is not to be. Why can't I say? Oh, I can. It is not to be mistaken with BK. Wait, BKB. BKF? BKFC. Bare knuckle boxing. Bare knuckle boxing. BK. Oh, sorry. Let me. BKB and BK. Yeah, bare knuckle fighting championship. So yeah, BKB is not to be mistaken with BKFC. BKFC is the premier. I'll say one more time. The premier bare knuckle fighting. What do you want to call it? A different. What's the word I'm looking for here? Not faction, organization. So BKFC is the premier bare knuckle organization, and BKB would be the number 2. So BKFC is like UFC, and BKB is like PFL. So that's how you want to see it, right? BKFC is the UFC of bare knuckle, and BKB is the PFL of bare knuckle. So let's go. Gustavo Trillo versus Mark O'Neill. Now my thing here is, right, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Mark O'Neill is 51 years of age. Mark O'Neill is 51. Gustavo Trillo is 33. That alone, right? And in bare knuckle, and Gustavo Trillo has got a bunch of professional boxing fights, right? Let's actually do this. Let me just talk about the data before we even go on this, because it's very easy to bet, right? Gustavo Trillo. Let's go to this. Because it's actually quite hilarious I mean, okay. BK. Okay, let's go. Mark O'Neill versus Gustavo Trillo. Now, Gustavo Trillo is a professional boxer and a professional bare knuckle fighter, right? Gustavo Trillo. Gustavo Trillo, in professional boxing, I just want to state this, he's got 12 fights, 12 wins, and 11 KOs in his professional boxing record. And he's fought pretty good competition, right? So he's already a killer in professional boxing. In bare knuckle boxing, Gustavo Trillo's got 8 fights and 8 knockouts, and he's the world champion in BKB. And his last 3 fights in BKB has been the world title fights because he's the heavyweight champion in BKB, right? Now Mark O'Neill, he's only got a bare knuckle professional record. Mark O'Neill's got zero fights in professional boxing. Now his bare knuckle record is 4 wins. He's got 7 fights, 4 wins and 3 losses. And all 3 of Mark O'Neill's losses have been by knockout. The reason why, and Mark O'Neill was 51. One more time. Mark O'Neill was 51. Gustavo Trillo is 33 years of age. Right? Mark O'Neill was 31. The reason why Mark O'Neill is fighting for this title was in his last fight, he beat Kamil Sokolowski. And Kamil Sokolowski was preparing to fight Gustavo Trillo for the title. But Sokolowski was going to have a fight in between just to get more ready to fight Gustavo Trillo. So they gave him Mark O'Neill. Mark O'Neill, a 51-year age bare knuckle fighter with a fat belly, right? So they gave him Mark O'Neill, and Mark O'Neill managed to knock out Kamil Sokolowski. He wasn't supposed to do it. It was going to be an easy little fight for Sokolowski to get the ring rust off. Then he fights Gustavo Trillo next, and then Sokolowski would have been a 4-0. 4 fights, 4 wins in bare knuckle. But the 51-year-old Mark O'Neill managed to knock out Kamil Sokolowski, so then they have to give the fight to Mark O'Neill. Mark O'Neill was not going to win this fight. He's 51. He's pretty much out of shape. He's not going to win. He's going to get knocked out. I mean, I can dive deeper. That's what she said. If I had my sound effects, I would have picked up, put them, boom. But I don't have my sound effects. Right, and obviously, Trillo's bare knuckle record is 8 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, and all 8 of Gustavo Trillo's wins are knockout victories. And one more thing. This is very important. All 8 of Gustavo Trillo's victories are knockout victories, and all of them are in the first round. All of them are in the first round. Gustavo Trillo's bare knuckle fighting record: 8 wins, 8 fights, 8 wins, 8 knockouts, all 8 knockouts in the first round. And like I said, O'Neill, 4 wins, 3 losses, and all 3 of those losses are by knockouts. It's been knocked out. Gustavo Trillo has got the much better jab. Gustavo Trillo is much faster. It's not even. Gustavo Trillo's speed is here. O'Neill's speed is here, bro. That's the gap. Gustavo Trillo's speed, O'Neill's speed. Right? And he's got the much better jab. And yeah, Gustavo Trillo wins. I'm not even going to say Gustavo Trillo wins by knockout. I'm going to say Gustavo Trillo wins by knockout in the first round. That's what I'm going to say. It's a risky bet, but again, all 8 of Gustavo Trillo's professional bare knuckle fights he's won by knockout. All 8 of his wins, he's 8 wins and 0 losses and 0 draws, and all 8 of those knockouts have come in the first round. And this guy's 51. Gustavo Trillo is 33, and he's much for the bet to place here is Gustavo Trillo to win by knockout in round 1. One more time, Gustavo Trillo to win by knockout in round 1. We're going to the last fight of the show. Before I continue the last fight, I like myself. You got the sombrero in the background. You got the. Why can't I? There we go. We got my shorts right there hanging off my shorts. So I like the setup, man. I like the setup. So what do we have here? We have Brandon Moore versus Bryant Jennings. Now, my thing here is Bryant Jennings has not really been that active. If we're talking about pure skill set, right? Pure skills, you probably go for Bryant Jennings, right? But Bryant Jennings has not been active. You know, he's older, right? He's not been active. He's been Bryant Jennings. He's not been active. Right, let me go to Bryant Jennings real quick. So Bryant Jennings is 41 years of age. 41 years of age. Okay, so that's already a spatter in the works, right? Let's go a bit bigger here. Brandon Moore is 32. Bryant Jennings is 41. So we already got that, right? The age advantage there with Brandon Moore. Now, if you look at Bryant Jennings, bear with me a second, we got something going on in the background. Bryant Jennings, I'm going to put my face on the screen for this one. Bryant Jennings, right? He fought in 2026, twice in 2026, and then before that, his last fight was 2024, and before that, his last fight was 2019. So Bryant Jennings, one fight in 2019. Wait. Bryant Jennings, 2 fights in 2019, 1 fight in 2024, and 2 fights in 2026. Right? So he's sporadic. He's not consistent with his activity in professional boxing. Now Brandon Moore, I mean, yeah, a lot of fights. So Brandon Moore, okay, way more fights than Bryant Jennings. This is no joke. Brandon Moore had 4 fights. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fights in 2020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fights in 2021. 1 fight in 2022. 3 fights in 2023. 2 fights. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fights in 2024. This is Brandon Moore. 1, 2, 3 fights in 2025. So you can see Brandon Moore is way more active, consistent fights every year. With, you know, Bryant Jennings having 1 fight in 2019, 1 fight in 2024, and 2 fights in 2026, and Brandon Moore having 3 fights in 2025, 4 fights in 2024, and then from 2020 all the way to 2023, his average was like 4 or 3 fights a year. So obviously, Brandon Moore is way more active and way more younger than Bryant Jennings. So that is a factor you need to take into point when you think about betting here. Now, has Bryant Jennings maybe got the skill set? Yeah, but Bryant Jennings is 41 years of age. And his activity is very sporadic, and he hasn't had many fights in the last 5 years. Brandon Moore has a ton of fights consistently in the last 5 years. So those two things, we are leaning towards Brandon Moore here. Obviously, Bryant Jennings is 41. Brandon Moore is 32. When it comes to accuracy, timing, countering ability, feinting ability, glove defense, jabbing, they're the same. No one's better in accuracy, timing, countering, feinting, glove defense, jabbing. Even glove manipulation, which is a high-level skill. Both of these guys have that skill. Head movement. Bryant Jennings is an 8 out of 10 in head movement. Brandon Moore is a 7 out of 10 in head movement. So that being said, I mean, maybe Bryant Jennings here, but Bryant Jennings, again, is 41 years of age. Footwork. Circling away. Same. Now, the applying of pressure for Moore is an 8, pressure for Jennings is a 7. You know, the ability to fight on the inside. You got long range, mid range, inside, long range, mid range, inside, long range, mid range, inside. Long range is technical boxing, inside is dirty boxing, and then mid range is the mixture of both of them. When it comes to long range, they're even. Actually, when it comes to long range, Brandon Moore is slightly better in the long range, and we'll talk about why he is in a second. When it comes to inside, Bryant Jennings is a 7 out of 10 on the inside. So inside is dirty boxing, you know, rough house. Brandon Moore's a 6 out of 10, so he could do it, but he's not as good as. But that doesn't really matter because they're long range. Now, when it comes to the jab, right? Brandon Moore has a good offensive jab and a good defensive jab, right? Bryant Jennings only has a good offensive jab. So when it comes to long range, Brandon Moore is better because he's got the superior jab, right? And now, Brian Jennings can fight in different looks, right? So maybe if Brian Jennings was 33 years of age, right, 35, 36, I would be leaning towards him because of this one skill set. But he's 41, he's inactive. Brandon Moore is 31 and very active. That's a big thing you have to think about here. So if Brian Jennings was younger and active, then I would be picking Brian Jennings here. But we're not going to do that, right? I'm not saying I'm picking Brandon Moore, but I can definitively say one of the bet we are not going to place is Brian Jennings to win. We're not placing that. Could he win? Yeah. But Brian Jennings got the ability to fight in different looks. If you can only attack and defend out of one style, then it's very easy for your opponent to time you because they always know where your punches are coming from. You can only attack and defend out of one style. Also, your punches will always go back to the same position. So, I should be able to time my opponent quite easily. But if I can attack and defend out of multiple styles, it's very hard for my opponent to time me. My punches will never come. For the most part, they will never come from the same position. And they, for the most part, won't ever go back to the same position. And I've got a larger area of punches I can throw because I can attack and defend out different styles. Now, Brian Jennings has got that skill. This is why I believe he might be able to win.
Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess, and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout, and fame, love, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. War with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me. I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite bursting. I'm toxic and psychotic, but it's logic. You can't stop it, it's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic.
I believe this fight, Brandon Moore is right in 5 rounds. So I must say it goes first. So the bet to place here is Brandon Moore versus Brian Jennings. The bet goes fast. The fight goes fast. 4 rounds. Boom, 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 boom. People, we have reached the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in to episode 261 of Cordoba Bets. We're going to recap the top 5 of the week and we'll close out the show.
Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic. If I ever play out on you know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic.
The biggest fight of the week.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy.
The biggest fight of the week.
Legacy of leading by intensity. Come
I'm trying to
on, we
just angle
can
it right
fight
here.
this. Freedom is priceless.
Umar Nurmagomedov
Like a
versus
virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous?
Go back
Do
to
you
the stream
see
and find out.
greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop.
The second biggest fight of the week is Chase Demoor versus Kevin Nagle. If you want to know what that, I tell you, please go back to the stream and find out. The third biggest fight of the week is Chantelle versus Mikaela. If you want to know about who's place, go back to the stream and find out. The fourth biggest fight of the week is Alberto Garcia versus Vega Ochoa. If you want to know what battle took place, go back in the stream and find out. The fifth biggest fight of the week is Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. If you want to know what better took place, go back in the show and find out. People, thank you for tuning in. Where are we at? Thank you for tuning in to episode 250. Let's put this here. 261 of Affordable Bets, the weekly episode of the podcast where I bring you the top 10 boxing and NFL fights for the upcoming week. I break them down and tell you what best to place. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends. That's it from me, peeps. Peace. We are Gone.